Hello Year 8, it's Mrs Moss from the Careers team, and today in your PSE lesson we're going to be looking at making choices and specifically at your Year 8 options and how you can make the best decision possible around your Key Stage 4 options. So we'll be looking a lot at how you can research your option subjects and your future pathways to make sure you have all the information you need to make a really well-informed decision for Key Stage 4. We'll be thinking about what you might do in the future, the routes that you could take post-16 and how this might impact the choices that you make now. This is our options process. You should have already had lots of information about the process in the options information evening with Mrs Scott, and you should have had all the information also in your course book, which hopefully you've got a hold of with you today because we're going to need it. Then you should have also had a careers lesson in each one of your subjects where you'll have had an introduction to the course and an idea of the different careers that it could take you on to in the future. We're now up to this green step. This is today's lesson, a PSHE lesson focused on careers and action planning. After this, you'll have a bit of time to think and do your research before your individual options interview with senior staff. And then between your interviews and the summer, we work on putting the classes and timetables together, and we'll call you for an additional meeting if there are any problems or changes needed with your options. And then, last of all, we start your new timetable with all your new courses in September. Just a quick reminder then of what your curriculum looks like in Key Stage 4 from Year 9 to Year 11. So everybody studies English language and English literature, maths, 3 sciences, either as trilogy science or as separate sciences. Students doing trilogy science also do GCSE religious studies. You'll study French, either history or geography, and 2 further choices from the options list in blocks 2 and 3. This is for the vast majority of students, but there might be some students who have a slightly different curriculum, and you'll have been given a form that matches what your curriculum will look like. So please only use the options on your form. You should recognise these diagrams from your course book and from the options evening with Mrs Scott. These show the compulsory subjects. So there are 2 routes, the separate science route and the trilogy science route. And you'll be told later on this year which of those 2 routes you'll be following. The separate sciences route includes English, maths and French, biology, physics and chemistry as 3 separate GCSEs, and core PE and core religious studies, which you take lessons in but you don't do a GCSE in. In the trilogy science route, you still have your English, maths and French. You have trilogy science, which is biology, chemistry and physics, but counting up to 2 GCSEs altogether. You'll then also do a GCSE in religious studies and core PE, that is PE with no qualification at the end. Now we move on to your options subjects, which is what we really want to focus on today, because you need to make a decision about which subjects you're going to take on for Key Stage 4 and which ones you're going to leave behind. The first choice you have is between geography and history. Every student does either geography or history as part of the EBAC. That is option 1. Option 2 and option 3 are chosen from the remaining subjects given in the lists provided. For option 2, you'll choose a subject that you will study for 2 years and complete at the end of Year 10. This means 1 less course and 1 less exam to think about at the end of Year 11. In option 3, you'll choose a subject that you'll study for the full 3 years and complete at the end of Year 11 along with your other courses. Most students will have these 3 options shown above, but some of you might have a slightly different options form with some different options for you to choose from. You need to follow the form that you've been given because that's what's going to be most suitable for you. If you need any more information about the curriculum or about the options blocks, you can look in your course booklet. You could go back to the information evening presentation from Mrs Scott, or you can get in touch with a member of staff. Now that you know what the decision is that you need to make, we're going to have a think about how you can go about making a really good decision for you. We make decisions every single day, from really simple things like what shall I wear today and what shall I have for my lunch, to much more important things like what shall I take for my Key Stage 4 options. You might not realise it, but every time you make a decision, your brain goes through a decision-making process. On the slide here is an example of a simple decision-making process. I'm going to demonstrate it for you now, thinking about the example of buying a new mobile phone. So you have the opportunity to get a new phone for yourself, and you need to choose which model you're going to get. Firstly, you might think about your wants and needs. What kind of phone do you want? What should it do? What do you need from it? What should it look like? What kind of contract should it be? Then you'll do some research and you'll find out the facts about each of the options available to you. So you might visit a shop and look at all of the different handsets, or you might go online, research the specifications, find out what each one does and what kind of contract you'll be getting. Next, you'll consider the impact. So if you were to buy this particular model, will it have the effect that you want? Will it do all of the things that you need it to do? Will you be happy with it? You can also talk to other people. So you might talk to a professional to get more information, or you might speak to someone who's already got that phone to give you their opinion, or you might just have a chat with someone to weigh up the pros and cons. When you've done all of that, you will weigh up the information that you have and you'll come to your final conclusion. Your GCSE choices is going to be very similar to this. So first of all, you're going to think about what you want and need out of the next 3 years of school. What will you enjoy? What qualifications do you need to get? Then you must do your research and find out the facts. Make sure you're well informed about all of the different course options that are available to you. Next, consider the impact. Is it going to get you where you want to be? Is this the right course to get you onto your correct routes for the future? You can talk to other people, maybe just for a chat, maybe to get some more information. And then when you've done all of that, you'll weigh up all of the information that you've gathered and you'll come to a conclusion and complete your options form. The first stage of our decision-making process is thinking about your wants and needs. This decision should be about you. You could think about what subjects you enjoy now and what subjects you're doing best in at the moment. The most important thing about your Key Stage 4 options is to choose courses that you're going to get the best possible results in at the end of year 11. So by choosing things you enjoy and things you've already shown you are good at, you can help to make sure you get the best possible results. You might like to think about the assessment method. So some students might prefer to have 1 or 2 courses that are assessed throughout the course rather than having all the exams at the end of year 11. You might think about your interests and talents outside of school and how these could help towards your qualifications. For example, if you do music or a sport, or you have a hobby at home that might help you with a different course. And you can also think about your ambitions for the future. What do you want to do and how can your courses help you get there? And we'll be thinking about this a lot more later on in the session. So here's a quick little task for you to do to get you thinking about your wants and needs. Find a piece of paper and jot down a quick mind map about yourself, all about the things you like, your ambitions, what you're doing well in, your interests and talents, and what type of assessment you think you would prefer. Pause the video now and complete your mind map. The next stage of our decision-making process is find out the facts. This is all about researching, and research is such an important skill for you to have. You've all been sent home your Key Stage 4 options book. The first part of this book is all sorts of different information about the options process, about your Key Stage 4 curriculum, about what happens next and how it all works. The second part of the book is all about the different courses that are available to you, both your compulsory subjects and the options subjects that you can choose from. It's the second part of the booklet that we're going to look through now. This booklet contains all sorts of useful information to help you make the best decision about your courses. It will tell you how the course is assessed, what kind of information you might learn as part of your course. It might have information for you about what skills you develop and where the course could lead you on to in the future. You're going to choose 5 courses that you're potentially interested in taking for your options, and carefully read through the pages for each of those courses. You'll want to think about the following questions. How will you be assessed in this course? Is it assessment in coursework and exams throughout the course? Or will you be doing it all as examinations at the end of year 11? You might want to look at the kind of things you'll be learning about. Lots of the subject areas are very broad, and you might want to see specifically what topics are covered within the GCSE or the vocational course, so that you know whether this is the right course for you. You might want to think about any strengths or hobbies that you have outside of school that would help you in your performance in this subject. For example, if you're taking GCSE PE, you need to be doing a sport or be a member of a team. If you want to do music, you need to be able to play an instrument or sing to perform for part of your assessment. You also want to look at whether this is a vocational course or a GCSE. GCSEs are academic courses. That means they're based around knowledge and they're similar to the subjects that you've been studying up to now in school. Vocational courses are more focused around the world of work and helping you develop the skills that you need for a job in a particular sector. Here's another short task for you to do to help you in your research. When you've decided the 5 subjects that you would like to research more about, draw yourself a grid something like this, either on paper or on a computer. In the first column, put down the names of the 5 courses that you're going to research. As you read through each page in the course book, make some notes about each of the 4 questions that we talked about. If you find you need any more information about any of the options available to you and it's not in your course book, you could try contacting your subject teacher for that subject, or if it's a subject you've never done before, contact Mrs. Scott. Pause the video now and complete your grid. The next stage in our decision-making process is considering the impact. That is thinking about the effects of your decisions and what will happen in the future if you make a particular decision now. So here you want to think about where you want to be in the future and whether your choices now can help you get there. It's really important to say at this point that there aren't any choices that you can make now that can stop you getting where you want to be. There aren't really any doors that you can close for yourself by taking the wrong choices at GCSE. The subjects that are required for different routes and different courses in the future are the ones that we include as your compulsory subjects. What you can do is to help yourself gain the best grades and the best skills that you need to get onto the route that you want to do in the future. But your compulsory subjects will have you covered for any route that you want to go onto in the future. So you're probably in one of these 3 places at the moment. Either you have a career in mind that you want to do in the future, or you have a rough idea of a route or an area that you want to go into, or you don't have a clue yet. And each of these are valid and normal places to be at this point in year 8. If you have a career in mind, it's really important to research what you need to get there. Find out what qualifications and skills and experience you need. And then you can choose GCSE courses that will help you to get onto those correct routes post 16 and post 18. So look at the career you want to go into and then work your way back. Where do I need to go post 18? Or where do I need to go post 16? Choose your GCSEs accordingly. If you have a rough idea of where you want to be, so you might know, for example, that you want to go to university, but you don't know what you want to do there, or that you want to work in a particular sector, what you can do is do some more research around that route. Do you need to have any particular grades or particular skills to get where you want to be? And then can you choose some GCSE courses that will help you to develop those particular skills, and choose the courses that will help you to achieve your absolute best grades that you can to keep your doors open for you in the future. If you have no idea at the moment, don't worry, we'll be helping you to think about that in the future. But what you can do now is think about what you enjoy, what you're good at, and what skills you would like to have. And then choose courses that will give you those skills that you would like to have, give you a broad range of different skills to keep your options open, and choose subjects that you're going to do well in, because the higher your grades and the better you do, the more options are open to you and available in the future. I thought I'd bring you back to this tube map that we looked at as part of your STEP sessions in careers. If you've never seen this before, or you want to go back and recap it, I've included it as part of the resources for this lesson. And it's an interactive version that you can click each station and listen to some information about those different options. So here you can see all of the options of different routes that you can take from when you leave school to when you get into your final career. It does look really complicated, and there's a good reason for that. That is because there are so many different routes and opportunities open to you to help you get where you want to be. There's no one way of doing things, and there's no right way of doing things, only the right way for you. And that's always important to bear in mind when you're making options. On this version of the map, I've highlighted for you the 4 main routes that you could take after you finish year 11. You could go to sixth form, either staying on at our school or moving somewhere new. You could go to FE College, that's doing further education at somewhere like New College or East Durham College. You could join a workforce and become an apprentice, and you would earn while you learn. Or you could take a traineeship, which is a work experience placement with some additional training. It's important to know your options for post-16 so that you can research what you need to get into those options and help you make the best decisions for your GCSEs. You can also use this map to help you work backwards. You could look at what career you want to get to in the end and follow the different routes to see how you could get there. Then for each stop on your route, you can research what you need to get there and how that could affect what choices you make for your GCSE options. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use Unifrog to do that research and to find out all the information that you need to know about your next steps. This is Unifrog, our online careers platform. I know if you've never seen this before and you've never logged in, then I'd really suggest that you look back in your tutor group, Teams assignments and find the video that I've posted on there showing you about Unifrog and how to log in. What I'm going to show you just now is just quickly how you can research using Unifrog about careers and future routes and what you might need to get into those things. So the first thing I'm going to show you is an example of if you know for definite what career you want to do in the future, how you can research that. So we're going to use the Careers Library tool, which is here. And if you know what career you want to look for, you can just search it here in the keywords. So we're going to go with dentist. So we're imagining here that we know what we want to do in the future and we want to be a dentist. So you get different careers that are linked with it, and you just want to find the one that you're looking at, which is dentist, and read the guide. And in these careers library guides, you'll find all sorts of different information about what the job is like, where it could get you some different linked careers or similar jobs that you might be interested in. There's loads of information, but what we want to find just now is the entry requirements. So that is, what do you need to get into this job? What qualifications and skills do you need? So if we have a look here for dentistry, you'll see that you need to complete a 5-year degree in dentistry. So you've got to go to university and do dentistry if you want to become a dentist. Usually with lots of these jobs, there'll be lots and lots of different options in this section of different ways that you could get into the job. But it just happens that for a dentist, there's only the one way. You have to go to university and do that degree. So that's how you could find out the entry requirements for a career that you're interested in. Now, let's say you want to find out more about that degree, the university course in becoming a dentist. We're going to have a look here. So we're working back from our career to our post-18 route, which is university, and we're going to go in the subjects library. This is all full of different guides about different university courses that you can take. And again, if you know something, exactly what you're looking for, you can search for it by keyword, but there's lots of different ways of browsing as well. So I'm going to search dentistry, and here's the dentistry guide. So this time it's not about being a dentist, it's about studying dentistry at university. And there is loads of information in here in all of these different sections, and it is way more than you need right now. So we're just going to focus to the getting in section. So again, this is entry requirements. And you can see here it tells you about the qualifications that you'll need to get into university and study dentistry. And here is level 2. Now level 2, that is the qualifications that you are choosing now in your options. So your GCSEs and your equivalents. So it tells you exactly what GCSEs you need to have to be able to get onto that course. And basically, as we've already suggested, it's saying you need to get the best grades that you can in your core subjects. So your sciences and maths and whatnot. But it does also suggest here that they would prefer to see triple science. That's what we call separate sciences rather than the trilogy science. Then after that, it also tells you your level 3 qualifications that you would need. So that's next after year 11, sixth form or college, what would you do next if you wanted to get into dentistry? So you can research that there. So as I say, there's loads of other information that you could look through that will help you as you're looking down that route. But for now, it's the entry requirements you're interested in. For those people who are less certain about what you want to do, I'm going to show you some other useful things that you can do. In the careers library, you could pop in 3 different options that you're thinking about taking and search by school subject, and it will tell you, it will bring up careers that are linked with all 3 of those. So I've put in sports, design tech and biology, which obviously that would be a core subject for you. And it's bringing me up careers now that are linked or share sort of skills with all 3 of those school subjects. So you can see here this prosthetist, that's someone who makes artificial limbs. You can see really easily how that would link with biology for knowing the human body, and design tech for being able to make things, and sports in terms of how the body's used. So it will bring you up some careers that you can have a look at. And again, you can look in there and find out about what you might need to get into that particular career. If you've got absolutely no idea whatsoever what you want to do and you just want a bit of inspiration, you would complete the interests profile quiz if you haven't already done that. And again, there's instructions on how to do that in the step session that is in your tutor group assignments. Some other useful things that might be good for research is the apprenticeships tool and the college and sixth form tool. Because these help you to see current vacancies and courses that are available for when you finish in year 11. So if you're interested in looking at apprenticeships and what the entry requirements are for those, you could search there. Just be aware that there's a small problem with the college sixth form tool at the moment, so not all courses are showing, and some of the information might be out of date. So that should be getting resolved in the next couple of weeks, but you might want to double check the information. And you've also got a universities tool if you're really looking ahead and you want to actually research the places that you could go to study the different courses. So there you go. That is how you can use Unifrog to do a little bit of research around the entry requirements for different courses and routes that you might want to take in the future. The next stage of our decision-making process is talking to others. So this is your decision, and it's important that you make your own decision and that you're not pushed into it by other people. But most of you will still value the opportunity to chat about it to other people, to get other people's opinions and to help you come to your final decisions. So of course, it's really important to speak to whoever's at home about what your decisions are going to be. And they can help you reflect as well on your strengths and your weaknesses and what you enjoy the most from what they see of you at home. You might want to talk to your friends as well, but make sure you're not talking to your friends in terms of, well, we want to be in the same class next year, so let's put down the same options, because we simply can't guarantee that you will be in the same class. So that's not a good way to think about it. You've got to make the right decision for you, not the right decision for your mate. You might want to talk to your subject teachers. They can give you more information about your courses that you're thinking about, but they could also help you reflect on whether you're really good at that course, whether they think that you've got the skills that you need and whether they think you'll do really well at it. If you've got a particular career you're thinking about, you could chat to someone who's done that career before. So say you want to be a sports coach, why not have a chat with your sports coach and find out from them what they did, what route did they take, and what recommendations would they have for you. You could also talk to someone who's taken the subject in the past. Try and keep it to someone quite recent, because if you're chatting to your mum and dad about what they did in design tech 20 years ago, it's probably going to be quite different now from what it was then. So someone who's done it recently, like an older brother or sister or a cousin or a friend. And if they did have a bad experience of it, then try not to be coloured by that, because everyone has a different experience. They might have just had a bad time. They might have not got on with their teacher. They might have, there's all sorts of different reasons why they might not have enjoyed that subject. So as much as you might be taking advice from people, you should also be careful of what you need to ignore and making your own decision. Mrs. Moss, that's me, and Mrs. Spoorer from the careers team are both available for you to chat to if you want any personal guidance or advice or information about any future careers or different pathways. You can email us anytime you want to. And the other people you'll have a chance to speak to is whichever member of the senior staff does your personal options interview. So they'll be able to discuss your options with you. They'll be able to look at your, your grades, your achievements, your school reports, and help you come to the best possible decision from the side of the school as well. So lots and lots of people you can talk to and help you to puzzle out all of that information that you've got and help you to come to your final decision. So now that we've done all of that research and you've got all the information you need, you've considered all your options and had all of those conversations, it's time to make your decision and fill in that options form. When you come for your options interview, you'll have the chance to discuss those choices that you've put down with a member of staff, and we'll make sure that it really is the best choices for you. If you're still struggling, don't worry about it. There's still time for you to have more conversations. Come to us for some more help. But really try not to worry about this decision. Although it's a big decision and it is important, it is by no means the most important decision you're ever going to make. And as we've said, there are very few problems that you can cause. You can't close doors for yourself through your GCSE options. You can't really do any damage with what decision you make at this point. All you need to do is put down some options that you're going to do well at, that you're going to enjoy, and that you're going to be able to perform your very best to give yourself the best possible options open to you in the future. So now you've got a little bit of time to think about your options, do your research, have all of those conversations and fill in your form. And then when it comes round to your options interview, you'll have the opportunity to discuss it. And it's not a scary interview. This isn't whether or not we let you onto your courses. This is about making the right decision for you. It's a chat with a senior member of staff. And to help you prepare for that interview, what you might want to do is think about these questions. So you might want to think about whether you've got a career in mind, and your research that you've done through Unifrog might help you to answer that question better than you would have done before. They might want to ask you, what are you considering after post-16, so after year 11? So again, looking back through that tube map and the different options that are open to you and doing a bit of research around those will help. And then they'll ask you why it is that you've chosen to study those options. And looking back at the tasks we've done in today's lesson will help you to answer those questions. And remember, nobody expects you to have your life planned out right now in year 8. We're just helping you to do the research that you need and find out the information you need to make the best choices for you. So if your answer to one of those questions is, I don't know, then that's okay. But try and tell us a bit about what you've been thinking and what you've considered. That's it for today's lesson. If you've got any time left, why don't you spend it on Unifrog doing a little bit of research or looking back through your course booklet. And if you've got any questions, please just contact either Mrs. Scott or Mr. Dinsdale if it's about your option choices, or if you've got questions about a career path or about Unifrog, then you can email me.